Hello and welcome. You're watching Newsx and I'm Megha Sharma. There are at least 9 people who have been killed in a massive fire that broke out following a truck collision outside a petrol pump in Jaipur today. Of those deceased, there are 3 men and there is a woman, while there are others who have not been identified thus far. The incident reportedly took place at 5:30 a.m. today at Ajmer Jaipur highway when a CNG tanker parked near the petrol pump caught fire after a truck collided with the vehicle. There are 37 people who are reportedly injured, of which 12 are in critical condition. The CCTV footage has gone viral on social media and it shows the intensity of the massive explosions. Nearby areas can be seen engulfed in flames. There are at least 40 vehicles parked near the accident site that have completely charred. Now, there are many pressing questions that arise with this shocking, unfortunate truck collision that has taken place. And now that we know that these trucks are inflammable, what do we do about it? What precautions can be taken to ensure the safety and security? And is it the quality of trucks that needs to be looked at this point of time? How are we going to ensure that traffic safety measures are adhered to by all? Because this has been an incident where a truck has rammed into a CNG tanker, which has led to the fire, the inferno, where a number of people have died. There was a petrol pump as well. So, you know, it was a tinder box waiting to explode, and that's unfortunately what has happened. Let's start our conversation. I have my panelists get them into the discussion. Abhijit Sinha is a technocrat, program director of Ease of Doing Business. Thank you very much, Abhijit. And my first question, unfortunate incident, and I think this could be called as the rarest of the rare incidents that has taken place, because there is a chemicals truck that has hit a CNG truck that was parked outside a petrol pump. And then there were these 40-odd vehicles that were also parked alongside the truck, which have all caught fire. And, it was an accident that was waiting to happen. How at this point of time can we even fathom that this could have been averted? Because this is an accident, this is a truck. I don't know if the truck driver was sleepy. I don't know where his mind was diverted, because he has just gone and slammed into a truck that was parked.
Definitely, it is not a matter of carelessness of the driver, but definitely it's a matter of the seriousness by which both the one who is driving a truck and the one who is taking a U-turn on the cut are involved in the ecosystem. The way we look at it is like if you are carrying something which has a potential to create a damage of this scale, there should be a surveillance, there should be a prevention mechanism, and that checkbox were not done that time. Second, a lot of people who have seen the accident on the spot, they are saying that there is a fault in the road designing or the development where the cut was given. This cut is not appropriate for the U-turn. So if it was not appropriate, why the truck was taking a U-turn from there? That's in question. And another, if the road designing or the divider U-turn allowed, not allowed, this raises a question towards the designing of road and the infrastructure in our country. But for the foremost and the last point which I would like to make is, even if there is a fault in the design or there are U-turns, there are possibilities of divergence. We are a developing country and there are a lot of construction going on the road. So somebody who is transporting such inflammable material from one place to another place, there should be a precautionary pilot team going with them so that they take this precaution that when we are taking a U-turn, they should be standing and they should be raising light, they should be putting flag that there is a CNG truck or there is a gas truck who is taking a U-turn. How such progresses, how such type of sensitization of such an inflammable material movement were not taken in place and this has happened, this raises several questions on multiple fronts.
Right. Right, absolutely. Now, questions being raised, unfortunate incident that has taken place. Nobody could have actually even anticipated that such a thing could have happened, but unfortunate that this happened earlier in the day today. I have with me Rajinder Kapoor. He's the president of All India Motor and Goods Transport Association. Rajinder Kapoor, could this accident have been averted?
नहीं नहीं देखो मैं पहली दफा कर रहा हूँ, मुझे नहीं मालूम, मैं इसलिए। हेलो।
Rajinder Kapoor, if you can hear us.
Yes, no, excuse, can you repeat the question please?
Okay, while we try to fix that, Mr. Rajinder, you'll have to keep your camera a little, a little bit of a distance from your face so that we can see you. And Rajinder Kapoor ji, how, this is an unfortunate incident. At this point of time, who is the blame to be put on? Because is this a case of negligence where the driver was callous? I don't know if he was sleepy. I don't know if his mind was diverted somewhere else and he decided to just ram his vehicle into that LPG truck.
Madam, actually right now I am not sure what was the reason of this accident. But I just want to mention over here that so many times we have written and we met with the ministers and all.
I will have to interrupt you, sir. I once again request you to please fix your frame so that we can see you properly in front of the camera, in front of our television screen. Meanwhile, I'm come to Nirmal Kaur, who's a former IPS officer. Nirmal Kaur, what kind of precautions could have been taken for this incident to be averted? Or at this time, are we at this point of time shrugging our shoulders and saying nothing really could have been done? This was the fault of the driver. He should have been more attentive while driving his vehicle.
Highly unfortunate, greatest misfortune has befallen. But that doesn't mean we don't take lessons from it. The primary reason seems to be bad road engineering. See, road engineering is a very vast subject. So many times when we drive on the highways, so recently also I was driving through Brisa, and I saw it is as if 2 points on the map were fixed, and straight away one line was fixed. To straight a line, you cannot have very straight roads. They should always have a bit of curvature if you read road engineering, because straight roads, tend to make you fall asleep when you're on long drives. These drivers, Indian economy moves on in trucks. You have to admit that, because, with railways and all other freights are there. But somehow even the railway has not been given the attention, the railway freight, though we have a dedicated freight corridor or something. But Indian economy moves on trucks. That is a fact. If you study, you can see the figures. You have to have better facilities. Now they have good highways and all, but they also kind of tend to make you careless. The highway is too good. The car is driving itself. You just have the steering, and
Yeah.
you've been driving for 3 shifts or something, maybe 20 hours, 20 past hours, and you tend to fall asleep at the wheel, and that has happened much too often. That's likely. And you're saying, as we read in the media also, this shift, the U-turn, the road engineering was bad. Primary thing is road engineering on roads. You have to keep, when you engineer roads, when you make, how the roads are going to go, you have to, and how the U-turns or the roundabouts or whatever it is on the roads, the turns or the exits or the entries, one has to always keep in mind that accident is always likely. All your energy has to be focused on that two people should not come in contact anywhere near. It
Yeah, but
has to
then
be
it's
very,
equal.
very
Don't
safe.
you think it is equally or rather more the responsibility of the driver, the person who's
Of
actually
course,
driving the vehicle?
of course, it is.
And then,
Not
ma'am, there have
it
been
is
so
a
many
vector
incidents
of
that we
many
have
things.
seen in the past frequently, that there are
Of
these
course,
truck
it's
drivers
possible.
who are overworked, who do not sleep the 6 or 8 hours that they have to take their sleep
Their
to
lives
stay
are very
alert.
hard.
And then
The
there
truck
was
drivers,
there
their lives
were
are
so
very
many
hard.
questions raised. How can they be well rested? How they are pushed beyond their limits to then do more work in a bid to earn more money, and then they are doing morning shifts and they're doing night shifts and they don't have any time whatsoever to even sleep.
That is very true. I have seen many truckers like that, and they are very tired and they are being harassed on the roads. Oftentimes, though I'm a cop myself, by the local traffic police or someone. I'm sorry, I'm not blaming anyone. I'm part of the gang. So what I'm saying is, I'm also being harassed not only by cops, sometimes by just people going on the road, sometimes by civilians. Not good food on the road. Some dhabas are there, but not. There's some routes on which some good dhabas are there, but often even when we drive, unless you can afford a good meal, going to a very polished restaurant. Truckers can't afford that, going into these 3-star kind
Okay.
of facilities.
Okay.
So you have to, their lives are hard. So
Yeah,
things
okay.
have to be made
Yeah.
easy for them.
Okay.
And also that they are rested, they do not come in contact with any other vehicle on the road. They have to be not only, it could be carelessness of the driver, but at the same time, if road engineering can help, if our taking care of them help, if giving them frequent breaks can help, if all this can be somehow put in the schedule, these long drives can be made much easier and much more safe.
Abhijit
it's
Sinha,
very-
how do you view the situation? How can things improve when it comes to the mental and physical well-being of the drivers, commercial vehicles, and particularly, you know, when they're actually driving these tankers and containers which contain these highly inflammable substances, for example, the LPG, or what the CNG or the chemical trucks at this point of time that had collided into that LPG truck. Can there be precautions taken, special precautions taken, especially for the drivers who are carrying these substances, who are carrying these inflammable substances when they're moving forward, and who should be ensuring that this regulation takes place?
Absolutely. Very critical question that you are asking, and it is very important for nation to know right now that what is the way forward. We are third largest country in terms of manufacturing trucks, and we are second largest globally in terms of manufacturing buses. But we are the globally first country, globally the biggest country, which is in the number of the death that happens on the road. So this unfortunate situation has been priority for the government for a period of time. Our Minister of Road Transport has extensively expressed his sincerity about it, and even the running hours of the truck drivers, the limitation that need to be provided. Now, Nidra Bank initiative, which was started a long back, then now Humsafar is being implemented by NHLMLCL and NHAI to make sure that they are working for a limited hours, because these possibilities now and then it happens that one truck got uncontrolled and it has hit a lot of cars, a lot of buses has happened to it. The person who is driving such kind of heavy vehicle, his mental state, the person whom you are giving such responsibility on the steering, his sleep, his consciousness, his attention, his distraction, everything matters. And to make sure that they are doing it in right manner, we need to bring a mechanism the way we have civil score for our banking scoring, the way we are going to have now very soon the civil score for driving. And these civil scores will be able to help that if we are carrying such inflammable material, and India is an economic growing country, we can carry hydrogen, CNG, windmill, something of very large size. So we need a very, very conscious driver. We need a pilot in front of that truck. And we need a special type of regulation to make sure that when such things are transported from point A to point B,
Yeah.
we meet all those boxes, we meet all those positions.
Right.
So
Let me also get Rajinder Kapoor. Rajinder Kapoor, also the question, when we talk about, when any vehicle that is entering into a petrol pump, an individual is not even allowed to light a cigarette inside the petrol pump because of the obvious reasons. There could be combustible substances that could lead to such kind of incendiary situations like the blast that has happened. So could precautions have been taken by the petrol depot as well, because there was a CNG a CNG truck that was parked right outside the petrol pump. So this was an accident that was just waiting to happen.
And you're absolutely right. But nobody will care of these things. There is no restriction on anything. There is no law on this thing. And implementation of law, nobody cares. But I am simply impressed with Mrs. Kaur's statement that we stick on the only two things. One, the arrest of drivers, and other, the separate lane. We have mentioned it to the government so many times that there will be a separate lane for heavy trucks, whatever material they are taking or not. And the other thing, rest houses must be made in every 50 to 75 kilometers, so that due to the sleepy nature, due to the tiredness, these kind of things cannot be happen. But government, I don't understand why not listening to all these things. And that is why these type of unwanted things are happened. And this is very serious. May government think on this now, and so that it will not be happen in the future.
Right, absolutely. Now, how can you ensure that the safety and security of drivers is maintained? And how can you ensure, sir, that the well-being of the drivers when it comes to their sleeping hours, when it comes to whether they are, healthy, whether they are in a position to actually drive long distances, and also ensure that they are not overstretched, they are not working 14, 18 to 20 hours and do not even have time to rest and sleep or eat.
Madam, you might have seen my press release today. There is a strongly needed uh, at this time. Government should uh, improve, make some driver training schools and call them to come over there because of the आई कैन से इन हिंदी कि जब उनको इज्जत नहीं मिलती है तो ड्राइवर में आना आज हमारे देश के अंदर देर आर ओनली 72% ड्राइवर्स अगर यहाँ की कंडीशन ठीक हो जाए ड्राइवर्स के लिए सुविधाएं हो जाएं ड्राइवर्स के लिए सब कुछ अच्छा हो तो ड्राइवर ट्रेनिंग स्कूल हो लोगों को एंकरेज करा जाए तो ड्राइवर स्कूल आए इस जॉब के अंदर तो देन इट विल बी यू विल सी कि एवरी ट्रक ऑपरेटर एवरी ट्रांसपोर्टर विल make two drivers on a single truck, and then one driver will take rest and other will drive. Then it is not stress to anyone.
Yeah, Rajinder ji, also I wanted to understand from you. You are president of the All India Motor and Goods Transport Association. Now, are there any special precautions taken when truck drivers are carrying these inflammable substances like chemicals and inflammable chemicals and the CNG and the LPG? Do you take special precautions? And if you do, what are those special precautions?
These type of tankers are loaded or transported goods, and whenever they will come to the road, at the time of getting permit, the all norms assigned by the government, they fulfill all the things, and then only they will come to the road. Otherwise, they will not.
So at this time, how do you view when this accident took place? Who do you think should be responsible here for the deaths that have happened? Do you think this is solely perhaps the responsibility, the blame needs to be put, the onus on the driver because the driver rammed into the truck?
I mentioned earlier also in the starting of the interview that I am not actually due to my family function, I am not aware of aware of all the things what happened actually in the this accident. As soon as I will come to know, I will definitely come back to you.
Okay. Coming back to you, Nirmal Kaur, how should the case move forward from here? There are dozens of them, people who have been burnt, they have severe injuries, they have been put in hospitals right now. There has been a green corridor that has been built. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has also spoken to the Rajasthan Chief Minister saying that the government of India will provide all support that is required. Now, what should be the way forward from here?
Ma'am, before we talk of the case, there's an important point I wanted to make last time around I was speaking. One thing is, recently you may have seen that this Titan people under their CSR initiative, they've tested eyesights of the road, just random samples on the road. And they found that at least 80% did not have correct vision. They are giving them glasses and, they are correcting their visions and all. But what I'm saying is that if they don't even have correct vision, they have driving licenses. And maybe the driving license was granted some time back, or that time they did not have a vision problem or whatever. Or maybe the test was not conducted properly, whatever it is. They say more than 80% people on the roads, these commercial drivers, have eyesight problems, issues. This survey was conducted by Titan India. They are the people who make glasses, the Tata company. And they are also conducting now some CSR initiative under which they are giving glasses to the truckers, to the truck drivers. And that is a very good initiative. And number two, you said now the case, of course, the law will take its own course. There will be a case of negligent driving or, whatever, or, maybe, other lines depending on the circumstances. A deep investigation is needed. But because we are out here generally trying how such things can be prevented, I believe the place to start is road engineering. The place to start is, in good life for truckers on the road. That is their life.
Okay.
That is going to be their life all their lives. And all kinds of things are happening. In Rohtas area, we see, there are these very loose women, who are picked up by the truckers, giving them, all kinds of sexual diseases they can get out of it. All kinds of funny things are happening on the roads. We don't know. Unless you
Okay.
really go on the road, you will know that the truckers definitely deserve a better lot. I mean, I don't know about this case. The trucker may have been in fault, but definitely our roads are not designed for absolute safety and for the well-being of the driver. That is my take.
Abhijit Sinha, again, the larger outlook, how can such accidents be averted? I asked the same question to Rajinder Kapoor. Are there special precautions taken when trucks are being deployed and carrying these inflammable combustible substances? Does the government of India have important norms that are particular to the carrying of these inflammable substances? Because that's the start where responsibility can be taken, to proactive measures can be taken to ensure accidents such as these don't happen. And if at all there are certain precautions that can be taken, what are they?
So very good question. I think Mr. Rajendra has given an outlook that there should be a strict and more disciplined regulation. But the point is that it's a responsibility of both the company or the entity or the organization which is transporting such goods. How much regulation can be given to them? If there are so much long regulations or strict regulation employed on them, then they will say there is no ease of doing business in the country. If there are some ethical regulation given to them that if you are carrying, you make sure that the driver is particularly trained for such conditions. At least one person with the driver is there which has a training that what to do with the leakage. What if this accident would not have happened, and just because by smoking this fire would have came up, and driver is not trained to that level that I should not be smoking sitting in a CNG truck. So n number of possibilities which can only be taken care if you are putting up a surveillance on that. And how do we surveillance as a country? Everything cannot be done through the regulation. If regulation will
Yeah.
go high, people will crave about ease of doing business. Second is prevention. Prevention is what is being coming up. It's not a mistake of one driver. It's a mistake of both drivers. The one who was taking the U-turn where there was a less space for a long truck to take a U-turn, and second which was coming uncontrolled, and both of them they collided. Third is, if we are looking at the prevention, how much time we are going to take a audit of the road conditions, where why such type of open spaces are given. If there is an open space, somebody who is not properly trained, who is not properly sensitized, might take a wrong decision of what it has happened as an unfortunate accident. Why we have kept that space open. So I think there is
Yeah, and
no.
also the fact that when you're on the roads, on the highways, one is mostly wary when there are trucks and tankers that are actually plying on the road, because one thing, you have the perception that they are rash drivers, they are big vehicles, so they would not care about the smaller vehicles that are actually also plying on the road alongside them. So the onus becomes on the drivers, on driving the smaller vehicles, that you be cautious about let the vehicle, the larger vehicle, the bigger vehicle move past. So again, those concerns also arise, because when I drive on the road and if I see a huge truck, I become cautious myself, because I am scared that if the truck driver could be rash when he's driving, and also the fact that it does not really cause him. I mean, he does not have to bear the brunt and the consequences if God forbid there is an accident that takes place.
True. Absolutely. Ethically, if there is a regulation for having a backlight at the back of truck, there is a regulation. How many truck drivers they have a backlight? Many of them, they do not have the backlight. So it's not about only making rule. It's about the ethical responsibility of the company also, that what type of driver they're given, that he took such a absurd decision to take a U-turn of such a huge truck.
Right, absolutely. All right, I thank all of you for joining me on the telecast, sharing your views on this unfortunate incident that has taken place today. On that note, I slip into a short break. Thanks for watching Newsx.